So now we are going to discuss the installation and initial configuration of the vCenter server appliance. So in the last video you saw I deployed a PSC, a platform service controller with the version 6.5 U3. Now I will be deploying another uh, vCenter server appliance with the same version 6.5 U3, which is there on the desktop. So let's start the installation by opening the ISO image. And before that, I'll just show you that the PSC was this was the PSC which I had created, and I am able to log into it without any issues. The name is psc.ashu.com. This is the ESXi internal ESXi host where the PSC is currently running. Now everything is there, nothing else we need from here. So we will just go back from here now and open the ISO, go to UI installer, Win32, open the same installer.exe, and we'll select the same option as well, install. Since it's a new deployment, hit next. Once we will hit next here, we'll have to select the deployment type. So in accept the end user license agreement, we have selected the deployment type as vCenter server appliance, as it's an external setup, and we have to enter the FQDN of the ESXi host where we want to create the virtual machine. It will be the same one since I have one ESXi host at the moment. I'll enter the password, accept the certificate warning, hit yes. Here I'll have to name the vCenter server, so I'll give it a name as VCSA. Please note that in DNS you have the same host record with this name. vcsa.ashu.com is the one that I will be using later on when I'll be configuring the networks. So the setup I will be using as Tiny. You can have a different deployment types. Let me go back there. You can have a deployment type of Tiny, small, medium, large, and extra large. For Tiny, you will have to use 2 CPUs, 10 GB memory. For small, you have to 4 CPUs, 16 GB memory. Medium, 8 CPUs and 24 GB memory. Large, 16 and 32. And extra large is 24 and 48 GB of memory. This is the maximum deployment you can have. Up to 35,000 virtual machines can be running, can run. Now you have to select the data store, enable the thin disk mode since it's a test environment, and ignore this error. I mistakenly hit next. Add the system name. That's what I was talking about, that I have given the name vcsa.ashu.com and in the as a host record and created a PTR record for the same as well. So enter the IP address, the subnet mask, the default gateway, and the DNS server. Now we can hit next. Check the configuration. It looks good. We can finish. Now this will again start the deployment of vCenter stage 1. Please note I have fast forward the video since it takes some time for the deployment to complete. And again, my recommendation goes the same. Post deployment of stage 1, you can take a snapshot of this VM on an ESXi host level so that in case if you get into any issues post stage 1, you can always revert the snapshot and then start the installation again by making the changes whatever is required. Now installing RPM is the one where it takes a lot of time, so we will wait for it to complete. So now the installation or deployment of stage 1 is completed. We'll move on to stage 2. From here, you can hit next. If in case this window got disconnected, you can uh, directly use a web browser to select connect to this virtual appliance. Uh, Use the same NTP server as host and enable the SSH. We can now we'll have to enter the information of the platform service controller which we have created earlier. So it goes with the name psc.ashu.com. Make sure that you have a hosted record and a reference PTR record created in the DNS server. vsphere.local was the SSO domain that we were using. We will enter the credentials for the single sign-on user administrator at the vsphere.local and hit next. Verify if everything is correct and hit finish. Now once you will be able to once you will hit OK, you won't be able to revert back. That's all it's saying. So you can hit OK now. And the stage 2 deployment has started. Again, I have fast forwarded the video as it takes a lot of time for the configuration and the initialization of the services that are associated with a vCenter server appliance. So let's you can see all the services are now currently being initialized post the installation. Let's give it some time and you can see this name of the services which are starting one by one. vCenter server appliance particularly takes some time to start because the services are dependent on each other, and once one service starts, it goes to the other one and initialize that, and the sequence goes on. So let's give it some more time here. So now the setup has completed. We can select that link which is mentioned there, vcsa.ashu.com with the port 443. So you'll select it. You will be taken to the vCSA page from where you can select the web client or the other HTML client. I have used the vSphere client here, and it'll take some time to load as it's the first time I'm opening